Hello everyone and welcome to our module on multiple gestation. We'll start by talking about twins, which refers to when two babies are produced from a single pregnancy. There are two subtypes of twins. The first is dizygotic twins. These twins are called dizygotic because they derive from two separate zygotes. In dizygotic twins, two separate ova are fertilized by two separate sperm, and essentially a dizygotic twin pregnancy is a pregnancy where two siblings are born from a single pregnancy. And dizygotic twins are also called fraternal twins. The word fraternal means like brothers, and that's basically what these pregnancies are. Two brothers, two sisters, or a brother and sister simply being born at the same time, but they each have their own genetic makeup and come from separate eggs and sperm. The other type of twins are monozygotic twins. In this type of twin pregnancy, one zygote divides in two, so a single ova is fertilized by a single sperm and then divides in two. And these are called identical twins because they share the same genetic makeup, having come from a single ova and single sperm. And here's a picture just to make this very clear. So in fraternal or dizygotic twins, you have two separate sperm fertilizing two separate eggs, which go on to produce two babies in a twin pregnancy. In monozygotic or identical twins, you have a single sperm and a single egg which divides in two to produce the twin pregnancy. You should be aware that one twin can die in utero, and when this happens, there can be resorption of the fetus and embryo. This is called the vanishing twin. And after one twin dies and is resorbed, there will be delivery of a single baby. So because we use ultrasound so early in pregnancy these days, sometimes a twin pregnancy is identified, but as the pregnancy progresses, one twin dies, and ultimately the woman gives birth to a single baby. The more fetuses associated with a pregnancy, the shorter the pregnancy. So a singleton pregnancy is about 40 weeks or so on average. Twin pregnancies are about 37 weeks and triplets are about 33 weeks. And half of twins are born before 37 weeks, which is a gestational length that would be considered very short for a singleton pregnancy. And then you should also know that the HCG levels are higher when a woman has multiple gestation. In the differential diagnosis for a very high HCG level is that the women may have twins or a multiple gestation. Recall that the fetal membranes have two layers. One's called the amnion and one's called the chorion. And in dizygotic twins, each of the twins has its own amnion and chorion. So these pregnancies are referred to as dichorionic diamniotic because there are two amnions and two chorions, one for each of the twins. The twins also have two separate placentas, and this is the most common type of twin pregnancy. It's also very common in mothers who use in vitro fertilization. In monozygotic twin pregnancies, the two twins can share a single placenta, and there are a variable number of amnions and chorions in monozygotic pregnancies. It depends on when the zygote divides in two. If the zygote divides in two in days 1 to 3 after fertilization, then the monozygotic pregnancy will be dichorionic diamniotic, and you can even have two placentas in this situation. This is what's shown at the top of the screen here. So a very early division of the egg leads to two chorions, two amnions. There can be separate placenta or the placenta can be shared, but this will be a dichorionic diamniotic pregnancy. If the fertilized egg divides days 4 to 8, then the pregnancy will be monochorionic diamniotic. In days 4 to 8, the chorion is already under development, so it won't split to form two chorions. But the amnion has not yet fully formed, and so two amnions can occur. And so that's what's shown in this picture here. You have one chorion but two amnions, and the twins share a single placenta. When the egg divides days 9 to 12, then the chorion and amnion are already under development, so these pregnancies are going to be monochorionic monoamniotic. The two twins will share a single placenta. And then it's rare, but if the egg divides after day 13, you can have conjoined twins. These will be monochorionic monoamniotic pregnancies, but the twins can be conjoined and can share various organs and body parts. Twin pregnancies in all multiple gestations carry an increased risk of complications for the mother and baby. A very easy way to remember this is that there's an increased risk of all complications except macrosomia in twin and multiple gestation pregnancies. It's very unlikely to have a large baby or macrosomia in a multiple gestation, but all the other complications are more likely to occur. So in the mother, gestational hypertension and preeclampsia are more common, so is placenta previa, so is the risk of needing a cesarean delivery. For the fetus, there's an increased risk of preterm delivery, growth restriction, and congenital anomalies. As I said, all complications except macrosomia are increased risk in twin pregnancies. There's one special risk associated with twin pregnancies, and that's known as the twin-twin transfusion syndrome. This occurs in monochorionic twin pregnancies with a single shared placenta. It happens in up to 15% of monochorionic diamniotic twins. It's less common with monochorionic monoamniotic twins. And the problem in twin-twin transfusion syndrome is imbalanced blood flow. In the placenta in these pregnancies, there are what's known as arteriovenous anastomoses. These are basically vascular connections between the twins, and they can result with one twin getting more blood flow and the other twin getting less blood flow, and that's the twin-twin transfusion syndrome. In this disorder, one twin is called the recipient twin. This is the twin that receives too much blood flow. So in the recipient twin, there will be polyhydramnios and organ enlargement. The recipient twin can also develop hypervolemia and swelling, and this can lead to evidence of heart failure. The other twin is the donor twin. This is the twin that loses volume. So on the donor twin side, there will be oligohydramnios and growth restriction. The diagnosis of twin-twin transfusion syndrome can be made by prenatal ultrasound. The findings include a single placenta and a discrepancy between the amount of amniotic fluid for the two twins. The usual criteria that's used is a fluid pocket less than 2 centimeters for one twin. This represents oligohydramnios, and a fluid pocket greater than 8 centimeters for the other twin, representing polyhydramnios. Mild cases can be managed expectantly with serial ultrasounds to closely monitor the twins. In more severe cases, there is a technique used for treatment called fetal laser coagulation. This involves using a laser to eliminate the anastomoses. This essentially separates the placenta into two. This procedure carries significant risk to the pregnancy, so it's reserved only for cases in which there's a severe discordance between the two twins. Another option is amnioreduction. So the twin that is the recipient with polyhydramnios can be a big problem during pregnancy. So in amnioreduction, you remove fluid to resolve polyhydramnios in the donor twin. This can help to improve breathing for the mom because the polyhydramnios can make it difficult to breathe. This also removes pressure on the cervix so that there's a lower risk for preterm delivery. I'll finish with one slide on the delivery of twin pregnancies. Often the delivery of twins is planned either through induction of labor or a cesarean section, and the recommended mode of delivery varies with the positioning of the twins. One twin is called the presenting twin. This is the twin closest to the cervix. It's also sometimes called twin A. The other twin is the non-presenting twin. This is the twin furthest from the cervix, also called twin B. So if twin A and twin B are both in the vertex position with the head down, then vaginal delivery is generally safe. If twin A is vertex but twin B is not vertex, then you can do a trial of vaginal delivery, or you can simply do a cesarean section. In any situation where twin A is not vertex, then usually cesarean delivery is the recommended mode of delivery. And that concludes our module on multiple gestation.